You know that feeling, right? It's late, you're standing in front of the fridge.
Yep, the leftover pasta is calling.
Exactly. And that little voice pipes up, don't eat after 8 p.m. It'll all turn to fat.
Oh, yeah. It's practically one of the commandments of weight management, isn't it? So deeply ingrained.
Totally. So in this deep dive, we really want to cut through that. Ask the important question, what's the actual science saying here? Is the clock on the wall really the boss of your metabolism?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go beyond the dogma, look at where this rule even came from, explore our internal body clocks, that whole symphony,
Yeah, like a symphony.
and untangle this relationship between when you eat, what you eat, and crucially, why you're eating.
And hopefully give you a clear science-backed answer, something useful.
Yeah, something empowering. So this no eating after dark thing, where did it actually start? It feels like it's been around forever.
It kind of does, right? But it's more like nutritional folklore than a hard scientific rule, especially initially. It really started bubbling up mid-20th century, mostly from diet books, actually. And the logic seemed simple enough back then. You move less at night, so boom, calories eaten late must just get stored as fat.
Seemed logical, easy to grasp. Did anyone actually, test it back then, or was it just observation?
Mostly observation. You know, people saw that late-night snackers often gain weight. So the conclusion was, late-night snacking is the problem.
The classic correlation-causation trap.
Exactly. It totally missed the bigger picture. Like, what were they snacking on? Probably not celery sticks. And why were they eating? Boredom. Stress.
Right. The rule got popular because it was simple, a clear boundary in a confusing world of nutrition, not because of solid proof.
Precisely. It was correlation mistaken for causation. Happens all the time.
Okay, so to really get this, we need to talk about our internal clocks, our circadian rhythms, and this is way more than just sleep and wake, right?
Oh, way more. It's this incredibly sophisticated 24-hour biological clock running in the background. It governs, thousands of things. Hormones, body temp, digestion, metabolism.
You called it a symphony. I like that analogy.
Yeah, think of it like that. In your brain, there's this tiny area, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the SCN. That's the master conductor.
Okay.
It gets its main cue from light. Light means, okay, orchestra, daytime tempo, action. Darkness means, all right, slow it down. Time for rest and repair.
And the musicians.
That's every organ, your liver, pancreas, stomach, even your fat cells. They all have their own little clocks, these peripheral clocks. They listen to the SCN, the conductor.
They also listen to other things, like food.
Exactly. Food intake is a major cue for them. And historically, this all worked beautifully. We were active and ate during the day, rested and fasted at night. Everything synced up.
But now?
Not so much.
Not so much. We've got artificial light, 247 food access. So eating a big meal late at night, it's like, imagine a quiet part of the symphony. Maybe the violins are playing softly.
And suddenly a trumpet just blasts the solo.
Exactly. That's the late night meal.
Yeah.
It jolts organs like the pancreas and liver out of their nighttime rest and repair mode back into process these nutrients now mode. That desynchronization, that metabolic jet lag, that's where the problems start.
That seems to be a really key part of it, yes. Which brings us neatly to chrononutrition.
Chrononutrition. Okay, fancy word for.
For the science studying how when we eat interacts with those internal clocks. And here's the kicker. The research is showing that a calorie at 9 a.m. is handled differently by your body than the exact same calorie at 9 p.m.
Whoa, okay, that's huge. A calorie isn't just a calorie, time-wise.
Apparently not.
So break that down. What's actually happening differently inside us at 9 a.m. versus 9 p.m.?
Okay, a few key things. First off, insulin sensitivity. Think of insulin as the key that unlocks your cells for sugar.
Right.
In the morning, your cells are super sensitive, the key fits easily, sugar gets whisked out of your blood efficiently, but as the day goes on, especially into the evening, you naturally become more insulin resistant.
The locks get rusty.
Good way to put it. Yeah, the locks get a bit rusty. So your pancreas has to pump out more insulin to do the same job. Blood sugar stays higher for longer.
And that's not good long term.
No. Chronically high insulin, high blood sugar, they're linked to inflammation, that's stubborn belly fat, and a higher risk of type 2 diabetes.
Okay, so cells are more welcoming to sugar in the morning. Got it. What about the idea that metabolism just tanks at night, shuts down?
Yeah, that's a myth. It doesn't stop. It just shifts priorities. Think of it like a factory.
Okay.
Daytime. Active production. Breaking down food for energy, building muscle, powering everything. Nighttime. maintenance crew comes in.
Cleaning up, repairs.
Exactly. Cleaning cellular waste, repairing tissues, consolidating memories, resetting hormones. Really crucial stuff. Eating late forces the night shift back onto the production line.
Disrupting the cleanup crew.
Potentially, yes. Disrupting those vital repair processes.
So it's not shutting down, it's shifting focus. That makes more sense.
Uh,
Are there other things happening physiologically at night?
There's also the thermic effect of food, TEF. That's the energy you burn just digesting and absorbing your meal.
Right, some foods take more energy to process.
Correct. And some studies suggest TF is a bit higher in the morning than in the evening, meaning you might burn slightly more calories digesting the same meal earlier in the day.
Interesting. Not a huge difference maybe, but it adds up.
Over time, it could contribute a little bit to energy balance, yeah. It's another small factor favoring daytime eating.
And what about the gut? How does that play into sleep?
Ah, yes. The gut has its own rhythm, too. Motility, the muscle contractions moving food along, naturally slows down in the evening.
So a big late meal just sits there long.
Can do, yeah. Leading to indigestion, maybe reflux, bloating.
Yeah.
All things that wreck your sleep quality.
And bad sleep leads to.
A hormonal mess. It throws ghrelin, your hunger hormone, way up, and leptin, your fullness hormone, down.
Making you ravenous the next day.
Ravenous, and usually craving exactly the wrong things. High sugar, high fat comfort foods, which of course makes you more likely to eat late again.
Vicious cycle. Okay. Wow. The science definitely points towards our bodies being primed for daytime fuel. But let's get real. Is it just the clock? Or is the clock maybe taking the blame for something else?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Because, yeah, the timing matters biologically, but in the real world, we have to ask, what are people actually reaching for at 11 p.m.?
Like you said, probably not steamed broccoli.
Probably not, let's be honest. It's usually the hyper-palatable stuff, right? Chips, cookies, ice cream, pizza.
Fun stuff.
The fun stuff, which also happens to be calorie-dense and often pretty low in actual nutrients. Those foods are going to drive weight gain whenever you eat them if you eat too much.
Okay, so the what is huge, and then there's the why.
Absolutely crucial. Are you eating because your stomach is genuinely rumbling? True physiological hunger?
Or because you're bored watching TV, stressed from work, just feeling a bit down.
Exactly. That mindless eating. Eating out of emotion or habit. Think about it. 1,000 calories of pizza eaten mindfully as your dinner at 6 p.m. is metabolically, behaviorally, very different from 1,000 calories of pizza eaten straight from the box at 11 p.m. while scrolling your phone.
Yeah. The second one is way more likely to be extra calories you didn't really need.
Precisely. So while the timing can amplify the negative effects, often the root cause is an overall calorie surplus driven by what you're choosing and why you're eating it. The timing makes a metabolically challenging situation worse.
Okay, let's tackle some myths head on then. Myth number 1. Eat after 8 p.m., you will gain weight. Full stop.
Reality. Weight gain comes from consistently eating more calories than you burn. Period. But eating late often involves those high-calorie, low-nutrient foods, zero portion control.
Right.
Your body's less efficient then, and it can kick off that bad sleep, more craving cycle. So it contributes significantly for many people, but it's not automatic fat storage just because the clock struck 8.
Gotcha. Myth number 2. Metabolism just stops. Grinds to a halt. Every calorie gets stored as fat.
Yeah, we busted that one. It slows, it shifts focus to repair, but it never stops. It's just less efficient at handling a sudden energy dump late at night. It's a dimmer switch, not an on-off switch for fat storage.
Okay. And myth 3. Any food before bed is terrible. A diet disaster.
Yeah. Nope. Context is king. For an athlete, a small protein snack like Greek yogurt before bed might actually help muscle repair.
Right.
Someone managing diabetes might need a small, balanced snack to keep blood sugar stable overnight. That's worlds away from a whole bag of chips or a tub of ice cream.
Makes sense. It's not black and white.
Yeah.
So looking ahead, where is this chrononutrition field going? Sounds like it's less about rigid rules.
Definitely. The future is much more about personalization. We're learning how individual chronotypes, are you naturally an early bird or a night owl, might affect how you metabolically handle meal timing.
Oh, interesting. So a night owl might actually do okay with a slightly later meal?
Potentially, yes. Their biology might be slightly better adapted for it compared to a real morning lark. The research is ongoing, but it's fascinating.
And what about things like time-restricted eating, TRE? That's huge right now. What does that fit?
TRE fits perfectly, actually. It's basically a practical application of chrononutrition principles. You eat all your food within a set window, say 8 or 10 or 12 hours.
Giving your body a long fasting period overnight.
Exactly. And studies are showing real promise for weight management, better insulin sensitivity, cellular cleanup processes. It reinforces that idea. Giving your system a consistent break overnight is really beneficial. It lets that night shift do its job properly.
So wrapping this all up, we asked, does eating late matter? What's the final verdict?
The verdict is yes, but it's definitely more complicated than just don't eat after 8. That specific rule, probably more fad than fact, a massive oversimplification.
Like-
But the underlying science is solid. Our bodies do run on these internal clocks. We are designed to eat during the day and rest and repair at night. Consistently going against that grain can mess with hormones, sleep, and metabolism.
Okay, so the timing has a real biological impact. But the bigger culprits might still be the what and the why.
For most people, most of the time, yes. That late-night cookie is an issue partly because it's late, sure, but mostly because it's a cookie packed with sugar and fat, and likely eaten out of habit or emotion, not real hunger.
So the real power isn't necessarily in following a strict clock rule.
Probably not. The real power comes from tuning in. Next time you're having that late-night fridge stare down, just pause. Ask yourself, am I actually hungry or am I tired, stressed, bored?
And if you are truly hungry,
Maybe reach for something small and protein-rich instead of the sugary stuff. It's about moving from rigid rules to, curious self-awareness.
listening to your body but also understanding its natural rhythm.
Precisely. Building a healthy relationship with food isn't about obeying the clock on the wall, but learning to listen to and work with that brilliant, ancient clock ticking away inside you.
That's a great way to put it. It's something for everyone to think about. Keep exploring this. Notice how you feel when you eat earlier versus later. Check out our other fact or fad deep dives too.
Yeah, learn to listen to that inner clock. It knows a lot.